You like dragons? Imagine dragging these nuts across your forehead.
Welcome to the motherfucking lady. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. Mikaela Mayer's recent reaction to some comments from Amanda Serrano, who believes a potential fight between Alicia Baumgardner and Caroline Dubois could become its own trilogy, like what she had with Katie Taylor, to which Mikaela responded, facts. Baumgardner and I could have done a trilogy too by now. Imagine not wanting to cash out on fights like these. Weird. For as popular as women's boxing has become, and it is more popular now than it's ever been, they're still not in a place where the fighters can afford to forego these big opportunities. In a combat sport, having a rival is a blessing. It's a blessing in disguise. It gives you a fight to sell. It gives you something to give the audience. And I'm fairly confident the audience would like to see Alicia run it back with Mikaela. One more time, two if necessary. Two more. And what the audience is saying is not only do they want to see her run it back with Mikaela, but they want to see her duke it out with Caroline Dubois. Stop chasing fighters on the eve of retirement and fight your contemporaries. Caroline Dubois, reacting to Mikaela Mayer's comments, said, she's scared, Mikaela, terrified to lose again. She is not willing to face that long climb back up from defeat. It was too hard for her the first time. She's gun-shy now. Is that what it is? Has she grown afraid over time of fighting Mikaela Mayer again? Fighting Caroline Dubois, a young, hungry up-and-comer like she once was. When it comes to Mikaela, I don't really think it's fear that motivates her so much as spite, not wanting to give Mikaela Mayer the satisfaction on the premise that had Mikaela been the one that won, would she have given Alicia a rematch? This is what I think she's telling herself. She doesn't like Mikaela Mayer on a personal level, so having won their initial meeting, she'll spite her any way that she can, even if it means shortchanging herself in the process, because that's one of the few big fights that are out there for Alicia Baumgardner. People don't actually want to see her fighting the Layla Boudoirs and Jennifer Mirandas of the world, the Baumgardner Shins, these fighters they don't know. She's reached a point to where they want to see her in there with familiar faces and big names. That's Mikaela. That's Caroline, which wasn't always the case, but Caroline's profile has grown over time with the help of Clarissa Shields. She's enlisted the aid of Caroline Dubois as her unofficial attack dog, going after Alicia Baumgardner, who campaigns at weights where Clarissa can't get to, but Caroline can, so that's what she's been doing, and the profile of the fight, it's growing. It's working. Now, I've noticed that Two-Tone the Superstar has recently made buddy-buddy with Alicia Baumgardner, and he's trying to convince people they don't want to see her fight Caroline, they want to see her fight Amanda. It's not working. He's not convincing anybody of anything, and Amanda Serrano just said this is going to be her final year in the sport of boxing. She'll try to match and surpass Christy Martin's knockout record if she can, but this is it.
It's one of the biggest fights that women's boxing can have.
Yeah, I definitely disagree. I think nobody cares about Caroline Dubois in reality. Clarissa, I don't know, you probably in LA right now on Rodeo Drive. You can walk into one of those Gucci stores and you could ask somebody, hey, do you know who Caroline Dubois is? And they're going to be absolutely not. We don't know who the fuck that is, my nigga. So,
oh my God, Tone. Oh my God, Tone. Hold on. When I went to the UK to see Caroline Dubois fight, hold on, I said her name wrong. Caroline Dubois. She writes Caroline Dubois fight.
Wait, you said Dubois?
It's Dubois.
Dubois.
Caroline is from the UK. She's big over there in the UK, and she has the marketability to be really big here in the US. Absolutely.
Wait, you know they carry knives over there. They're not even allowed to have blicks up over there. The UK sell tickets for $3. I don't give a fuck about no fucking UK shit. UK shit is fucking smoking there.
So I looked at the tickets. They was $40, Tone. So we ain't.
I was just finna say that, but go ahead. I'm glad you said it. I ain't gonna say it.
Another glaring example of what passes for content creation and boxing coverage in the United States. I'm only addressing this because I was tagged to it. Friend of the channel, Danny Glover, over there in the UK, tagged me to it and said, oh my gosh, why does this Two-Tone guy get so much shine and props in American media? He's so behind. He's one of those typical Americans who think we have tea and crumpets. Two-Tone said that ticket sales and gate receipts in the UK are all smoke and mirrors, but then why is it that Anthony Joshua has been on the Forbes list and the Sportico list for highest earning boxers more than once, and Wilder's never been on there, or David Benavidez? Near as I can tell, it's the American boxers that are all smoke and mirrors, this Americentric approach to a Baumgardner versus Dubois fight. So what you're trying to do now is convince boxing fans that they don't want to see that boxing match? You better read the comments section of your videos.
Those are Americans advocating for that fight, not just the Brits.
You can't use the names of two boxers on the verge of retirement as a deflection to a Dubois fight, because one way or another, they're out of the door, and when they're gone, what is Alicia gonna do? Keep using you as a mouthpiece?
And understand that I am a fan of Alicia Baumgardner, but what I'm not is a member of anybody's street team.
And while I believe that she would beat Dubois in a fight, it doesn't matter if she doesn't prove it.
According to Carolyn, Alicia's grown gun-shy. She's afraid of losing again, but I don't think it's fear. I think it's a mixture of complacency and arrogance.
She's been successful in beating her domestic rival, Michaela Mayer, and becoming an undisputed champion, and she's been reveling in that success for the last 3 years, to where she's grown complacent.
And there's no room for that in the "what have you done for me lately" sport. That win over Michaela's 3 years old.
So what have you done for me lately?
When year's end gets here, and Amanda Serrano decides to call it a career and walk away, Two-Tone won't have her to use as an excuse for Alicia not to fight Carolyn. And he says that nobody knows Carolyn, nobody wants to see her, but they knew Layla Boudoir, they wanted to see Jennifer Miranda, Bomi Reishin. This is moronic.
This shit is stupid.
These are intended to be the ambassadors for women's boxing after Katie and Amanda jointly walk away by year's end. And women's boxing could be in serious trouble if its ambassadors become picky eaters, because that's not how we got here, and that's not how the sport became popular. You have to fight the fights.
And now it's time for another installment of what has fast become the most popular segment here on the channel, Ring IQ Hate Mail.
Jerry's back.
Him again? He said, there's a reason why the relay has two voices, two personalities. The hypocrisy is diabolical.
You mean like there's a reason you watch every video but don't address what I say in it?
No, I just need to figure out who's the guy that does the live podcasts and tweets on X.
What you really need to figure out is how to take your nose out of David Benavidez's ass.
Pucker up, Buttercup, because here comes the pain.
Ooh, I'm scared now. I mean, there is a reason that this guy's here for every video I make about his favorite fighter, David Benavidez, but he never addresses any of the actual talking points in the video. Like the last one I made where it's been Team Benavidez putting off an Opataya fight for weeks. Every week following his win over Zurdo Ramirez, they've given reasons not to do the Opataya fight. So when I say that I don't believe them...
Jose says that they've been trying to get in contact with Dana White, which I don't believe.
Well, that's why. You've spent every week following the Zurdo Ramirez fight putting off the Opataya fight, giving reasons not to do it. In the video, Jose Benavidez said that he's got proof. He's got the receipts, except he didn't actually post any of them.
Because he knows that the modern content creator isn't going to challenge him. The interviewer isn't going to grill him to post those receipts. All these guys lap it up for the boxers and their managers and their teams because they just want to rub elbows with them. They just want to be friends. They don't want to get to the truth.
They don't want to ruffle any feathers.
Lest their future access to said boxer be denied on the premise that you're going to ask the hard questions. You're going to put them in the hot seat. You really don't see that anymore, and that's the difference between being a content creator and being an actual journalist. When it's a news network,
a newspaper, or a news channel, and their journalist asking the questions, they don't have to worry about ruffling feathers because the news network is who pays them.
They're not necessarily relying on any individual fighter as being their bread and butter. If anything, the fighters back then were relying on those networks to promote their upcoming fights. So in a way, they had to deal with this, whereas now,
the experience is a lot more tailored and thus the interaction is lukewarm.
Questions are softball questions, a lot of yapping about things nobody really gives a damn about, and a lot of ego stroking. Every so often you come across a jewel, an interesting bit of information, every so often.
But a Jose Benavidez can get away with making a claim like this without having it challenged because these days you don't want to ruffle any feathers. He claims he's been trying to get in contact with Dana White, but he didn't post any proof. Post a call log.
A direct message on Instagram or X.
Because I'll tell you something, I'm not going to believe it coming from you, Jose. You've got every reason to lie about it. It's your son in the hot seat. He's either got to get down to 175, like he's been saying, or he's got to deal with the Aussie.
I'm not gonna believe it coming from Jose, but you know who will? Jerry Soriano.
Because he's a fucking idiot.
He thinks he's charming for some reason, or that what he's been doing is somehow witty or funny.
Insightful.
He just looks like a fucking jackass who laps it up over whatever Team Benavidez says, without challenging it. He's so desperate to be right about this fighter, he doesn't know what a big ass he appears.
Dumbass.
So I don't expect him to address the question I posed in the video when Team Benavidez are the ones putting off the fight, while Jai Opataya is calling for it. When they spend weeks giving the media reasons why they're not gonna do it,
That's not ducking.
but let Jose Benavidez change his tune and make claims about trying to do the fight now, and you believe it automatically.
Jerry's not as stupid as he sounds, stupid as he looks.
Benavidez fan that he might be, there's a reason he makes it a point to watch every video I make about him without addressing what I said. It's because he knows he can't. So he's doing a thing where he's going to attack me on a personal level instead of attacking my argument because he can't win that.
He wants to talk about how I use two different voices for the relay. Hey, everybody knows it's the same guy. I'm a hypocrite, so what am I a hypocrite about? What have I waffled over?
I told you well over a year and a half ago, that David Benavidez's stay in the light heavyweight division won't last long, and he'll be up there chasing around Zerto before you know it. And you didn't like the sound of that over a year and a half ago.
Now, over a year and a half later, you're the one defending it.
Because you're the hypocrite. I'm consistent throughout. Most you can do is project your glaring character flaws onto me, but it doesn't work because in the digital era,
Everything is archived. Everything is documented. Everything is recorded. Everything I said, which has been consistent throughout. And accurate.
I said this guy's light heavyweight campaign is going to come and go without a B-Vol fight, without a better B fight. I said this guy's already charting a course to the cruiserweight division before he's even fought David Morrell.
What did I say after that? Once he beats Zerto, and he's up there, he's up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, because in the cruiserweight division, there are not a lot of pay-per-view worthy fights. And the only guy worth any money up there is Jai Opataya.
Now, you want to buy into the story from Team Benavidez that they are now trying to make that fight. Well, that should be good news for you, but not just for you. Me too. Because that's what I want to see. I want to see a fight, not more interviews from Jose and David. Not more podcasts.
I want to see a fight.
Guys get all attached to these fighters that rise and fall like the wheat, these parasocial relationships. When you attach your ego to the conversation, you end up trying to be right so much,
You end up being wrong.
because you want so badly for this guy to be something that he isn't. You want that because you don't want me to be right.
It's annoying, I know.
All the more reason for guys like you, Jerry, to shut the fuck up and listen. Don't try to mince words with me. Don't try to match my wits. You can't.
You're not smarter than me.
Sharper than me. I have less of a hard time admitting when I am wrong than you do. The thing is, that seldom ever happens.
And it's not going to happen for you now, Jerry. David's going to do what he's been doing. Prove me right.
Because that's all he's ever done.
I wait so long for the opportunity, you know. I'm the next for Usyk for the WBC title. But now, when I come back to Germany, I think Usyk is scared from me. He will not fight with Kabayel. I think he will make the fight. He will make the rematch fight with Rico. You know, he say, you ever know, understand. He can beat Rico better, and now he can watch the fight, for him, and he can make the analyst. But I think when he fight with Kabayel, this is a different fight. You know it. And now I think he's scared for Kabayel.
You're saying he's scared of you? You think he's running from Usyk?
Yes, 100%. Why he accepted the fight and he say when Turkey Al-Sheikh make happen this, Turkey give me the words before the fight, he will make happen this. Why not we talk, Normally Kabayel was Usyk. I'm the WBC mandatory. I don't know why we make, I hate this word, politic. Normally I hate this word, but I'm the number one challenger. Kabayel was Usyk, makes in. We can't sell out the stadium in Germany.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's the look of it. If Usyk decides to forego a fight with Agit Kabayel to give Rico Verhoeven a second crack at the apple, well, Agit's not going to be happy about that. But if he fights Agit, Rico's not going to be happy about that because Rico wants an immediate rematch, and to a lot of people, Rico should have got the benefit of the doubt. If nothing else, he should have been allowed to Go into the 12th round, and if Usyk knocks him out, he knocks him out.
But Mark Lyson should not have waved it off, because when he did, it was after the bell, meaning Rico should have been saved by it. He should have been saved by the bell and allowed to continue. I'm a huge fan of Usyk, and I have been for years, but he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's the one put himself there.
He's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't. What fight do I want to see him in? What would I like to see him do next? Ideally, I would like to see him fight Agit Kabayel, come back in more serious shape and more serious form, which I think he can.
Take care of this guy, because if you take care of this guy, it'll remind people who you are. Then, after that, if you win, take care of Rico.
The biggest indictment against Alexander Usyk in light of his performance with Rico Verhoeven is that in taking a circus fight, a crossover fight, he was asleep at the wheel. He thought it would be easy, and he got more than he bargained for. You can right that wrong by taking on a more serious challenge, a more serious opponent, and beating him.
Everybody knows Agit Kabayel ain't no joke. This guy made a name for himself taking on the guys that nobody else wanted. Frankie Sanchez, Arslanbek Makhmudov, Zhilei Zhang, very dangerous guys at the time. He's a serious operator. Everybody knows that, to where if you fight him and you beat him, they're gonna put that Rico Verhoeven fight behind them. And you can too.
Alex Krasiuk, Usyk's longtime promoter, feels that Usyk has lost a step. He's not as mobile as he used to be. He's sitting on his punches more, and he's urging his old friend to retire. I wonder if that's coming from an earnest place.
I wonder what the real circumstances were of Krasiuk's departure from Usyk's corner.
Initially, when it happened, what I thought it heralded was Usyk's retirement. He's jettisoning Krasiuk because he's not going to box anymore. But he kept fighting. He kept fighting after that. So if he was going to keep fighting...
Why did Alex leave?
It could be that Alexander Usyk was asleep at the wheel with Rico Verhoeven and he got more than he bargained for, just as easily as it could be time catching up to a 39-year-old fighter.
Because at some point it's going to.
Usyk's style of fighting in the land of the lumbering giants, the lumbering lummoxes, is a physically taxing style. Having to move around that much, you really do need for your legs to be under you, and your cardio to be on point. Usyk looked fatter and fleshier this past weekend than I've ever seen him. Can he come back more serious, more match fit? I think he can.
But that doesn't make it easy to do at 39 years old. The sand in the hourglass is running out for the 3-time undisputed champion. I would like to think that he's got one more good one left in him, and we can see that with Agit Kabayel.
But Agit Kabayel is of the opinion Usyk is going to forego their fight for a rematch with Rico.
Would he be wrong if he did?
He's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't, because to a lot of people, Rico Verhoeven was robbed. So if he fights Rico, the Agit Kabayel fans ain't gonna like that, but if he fights Agit Kabayel, the Rico fans are gonna think Usyk made off like a bandit.
He's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't. Like I said, to me, the best course of action is to take care of Agit Kabayel while you still can, because you's the one that insists on fighting.
I think he should have retired after the second Dubois fight.
Now you've put yourself in a position where you have to take care of this and remind people of who you are. Take care of Agit, then circle back for Rico.